the DJI Osmo Mobile 6, a gimbal for your smartphone. Now, what is it? How does it work? And do you really need one? Because with the latest smartphones, the internal image stabilization is become really good. So why would you actually still need this one? Let's dive into that. Hey, Steven here with droneon.eu, and today we're going to talk about the Osmo Mobile 6. It's this little contraption here, so it's no bigger than just the size of my hand, basically, and you can carry it inside your pocket. Now, you just flip it open, you open it, and then it automatically turns on, and it automatically shows or centers the gimbal. And then you have this little phone clamp that comes with the package, and you align the notch at the top with the very strong magnet at the back here, and then it automatically recenters. Now, if you can see here, it also, if you have an iPhone, it also prompts you to open the DJI Mimo app immediately when tapping on it. And of course, this is now in standard vertical mode, but with a simple double tap on the button, you can put it in horizontal mode, which most of us will use. But the vertical mode is handy for those of you that are on TikTok or other social media, Instagram and that kind of stuff, where vertical video is preferred. Personally, I don't really like vertical video, but that's just my taste. A lot of people actually do, and this is something that makes it easy to switch between the vertical and the horizontal mode. Now, together in the package, you also get a tripod, which you can just mount like this. You screw it at the bottom, and then you can either use it to hold the gimbal like this with two hands to be a little bit more steady, or you can flip it open and use it as a tripod. So that's also a very cool feature that they include this in the basic package. So at the top of the handle, you actually have a mode button with a screen that indicates whether you are connected to your smartphone via Bluetooth and the battery status, together with the different shooting modes that you have. So the first shooting mode is called follow mode, and this just follows you around whatever you want to shoot, and it just dampens the way that the gimbal actually follows. The second mode is tilt lock, where if you choose your tilt angle to a certain point, no matter how you move, you will go left, right, but you will not go up or down. So the tilt is being locked. So the third mode is FPV mode, and while the main use for a gimbal is to stabilize your horizontal footage, with FPV mode it will also go left or right depending on how you hold the handle, right? So if we just go back to the follow mode, right, left or right just keeps the gimbal with the horizon level at that point. So the FPV mode, if you want to get like interesting shots moving through something, for example, that could be interesting. And then the last mode that we have is the spin shot mode, where you can use your stick to actually rotate the camera. Now, I have set mine to act very slowly to get the optimal cinematic effect, but of course you can make it a lot faster as well. So you get some interesting spin shots for that. So let me show you here very quickly when I move it to joystick speed fast. So here we go, joystick speed fast. Then it actually rotates a lot quicker. The only downside with this one is at this point the camera is actually being blocked by the arm. So you have to judge it somewhere from here. You can get a full 180-degree rotation, and it can go really fast, right? So that's awesome, and you can get some cool effects with this kind of shot. Now at the back of the gimbal there is also a click button right here, which has different functionalities. But if you double click, it will actually recenter your gimbal, and everything will be back in the middle after you've done some spin shots or some tilts. This will be your basic shot that you can get. If you do a single tap, then it will activate active track at that point. And active track will basically be the same as on the drones. You are getting a, if it recognizes a subject in the center, it will actually track that subject automatically, or you can just draw a box around the subject that you want to track. Another use for the button here is when I am following, it is reacting relatively slow to follow. Now sometimes when you're shooting something in sport mode, you actually want it to react quicker, so a simple tap and hold and it will react a lot faster to follow around corners and to follow the movement when you switch, compared to when you let it go. It just lags a little bit to make it a little bit more smoother. So this is basically the action mode that you have on the Osmo Mobile 6 here. So another thing is you have this little button here, like the red dot, that is to start and stop recording. You can do it via the phone as well, but you don't have to, so you can do it single-handedly here. And then this button here is to, if you click it once, it is going to switch between the front and the back camera. If you click it twice, it will go to the vertical mode or the horizontal mode. The joystick here is to move the up and down movement, left, right, to frame your shot, basically before the gimbal actually takes effect, and the gimbal will hold that specific position while you are moving. And then you have this special button here, which actually can be used as a zoom button for your phone, but also if you tap it, it can also be out of focus and get into focus. So out of focus and go into focus. So you can have your manual focus set there, especially handy when you do certain kind of shots where you go from something really close by and you just slide over it, for example, and then you want to focus on the thing that is at the back. Instead of the phone hunting for the focus, which can just jump a little bit, you can use this scroll wheel to manually change the focus from close to the distance that you need your subject to be in focus in. So that is awesome. And this is just really great tool to have in your arsenal, because right now a lot of people are filming with their smartphone, and a lot of people are publishing on YouTube with their smartphone, on Instagram, on TikTok, and so on. And that brings us to the question, with all the fancy stuff here, do you actually need one, right? Because the phone is already so good at stabilizing the images. Let me show you a couple of examples here. So the first one here was shot with the phone handheld with the image stabilization on. Now it is really good at this point, but it's still some shaky footage that is going on compared to the footage that I'm showing here, where I actually run full speed up behind the gymnast, and the footage is hardly shaking at all at this point. So it is amazing how much smoother the footage is, especially if you get to zoom in, then especially then it will be a lot better to use a gimbal. Now another cool thing about this gimbal is the fact that it has a built-in extension rod. So you can do some vlog styles like this, right? And then blah 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 blah. I can talk. It's a lot better if you do it like this compared to having the smartphone like this, because you will see your arm in the screen. So just like this, you only have the top half of me, for example, and you won't see my arm in the shot. Plus, if I go to some kind of concert or a parade or whatever, I can just put it really high and then still get the shots that I want without having to be in front of the crowd, for example. So yeah, it's a really cool feature to have that extension rod built in, and it's a really sturdy one as well. Now to put this thing away, it's very easy. You just take off with a very strong magnet. The gimbal is not freaking out at this point. You just turn it to the top, turn it to the back, close it. It's automatically shut down and ready to just put in your pocket again. So that makes it really, really good. Now another cool thing that you have is the active track with gesture control. So when you put the phone somewhere, you can be within 2 meters of range. You just hold your hand up and it will recognize you as the subject and it will start tracking you automatically. And then you can move left or right, up or down. It will track your face, and it's really good. It is tracking you up to quite a distance. Of course, if you're moving really fast, left or right, you might go out of frame at that point. So it's something that you have to take into account, because if you're out of frame, it can't track you anymore, of course. Now the good thing also, when you activate this active track, when you do it with the selfie cam, you actually see on the screen a counter saying, hey, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to start recording and I have you recognized. But if you do it from the front, because you maybe want to use the better camera that you have on the back of your phone, well, then it's a little bit different. You just wave or hold your hand up, and the flash will actually show you that it has recognized you before it starts recording. And then, just like with the selfie cam, it also tracks you automatically. But this is a really cool feature that they use the flash to just notify you, like, hey, we have got you, and you can start recording now. If you're interested in more details about the Osmo Mobile 6, I've included the link below in the description, so go and check it out. If you haven't done already, please consider subscribing to the channel and make sure you click that little bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. And for now, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one, and until then, drone on.